Teresa Roat. We want to throw out a little shout out there.
Throw out a shout out.
Some other, because they're the ones, and Bianca. Yeah, all of our.
Bianca, welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some other people as well.
Okay. Are you guys excited about today's topic?
I'm excited.
Yeah. You were a little excited when we decided to do this.
I got excited. Yeah, this was kind of my.
It was like super chat excitement, except I don't know, maybe not quite as positive.
Yeah.
I wish you could have seen him.
I'm a pretty mellow guy for the most part.
This one,
but there are some things that fire me up, and misinformation is one of those. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's one thing to have a different opinion. It's one thing to analyze a set of results of studies and come up with a different conclusion. But to do what we're talking about today is not that. I guess, I'd like to give my conclusion that we talked about earlier, just right now up front.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Okay.
Here, you guys, well, please stay around for the rest of it because we can back this up. But
the conclusion is, please don't base your decision whether or not to vaccinate your children on Facebook. That's our conclusion.
That is a good conclusion to come
You
to.
can look at facts and maybe come to a different conclusion somehow than us, but please don't let the source be Facebook. Let's use something else. Okay. So with that, I want to be generous to people who hold a different opinion than myself. I want to be able to have a good relationship with people who have a different opinion than myself. I don't want to call people names. I just want to have a discussion. And I recognize going into the whole subject of vaccinations that there are people whose decisions are made and they're not going to be open to considering the facts that and the results we're going to be going over. I understand that. And in fact, I really don't try to engage with somebody whose mind is already made up.
Approach this often enough in the exam room. And so we have this conversation with people on a one-on-one basis.
Yeah.
So to have it with us just on one side out to the universe. We can just tell you what we think, and we don't. No, just kidding. And it's just going to be a one-sided conversation.
Right.
No, we say that with respect. That we understand that there are differing views out there.
Yeah.
Ours are based on what we have learned as medical doctors and science. The science we know behind it.
And we're not just going to say that and leave it at that.
Yes, because I know that is one of the arguments that you doctors, you say that, but you never back it up. So let's back it up.
We'll say what it is we're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll even get into the whole thing about tribe identification and the evolution of reason.
Yeah. Some biases. There's a lot of different reasons why people don't vaccinate.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get into that. Yeah. But let's first try to debunk some things that just simply aren't true.
Okay. Do you want to jump into that Facebook, or did you have something else in mind when you said that?
No, that's what I was talking about.
All right. So, of course, hello to Bianca and...
Oh, yeah, and Bianca. Who else was it? Laura Spurs, Bianca, and Teresa Roat.
Okay. So, for those of you who are watching this for the first time, this is a live program, and there's a chat going along. We try to kind of participate in while we're doing the show.
Yes.
And you too can be a part of that. You get a special little icon badge by your name if you're a member of the channel. So we encourage that, and that's why we say names like Laura Spurs and Bianca Dye and others that have become members of the channel. And then there's also Super Chat, which really gets us definitely to address whatever your comment or question was. We will not ignore if there's a Super Chat, which is the
absolutely
little $ thing, and something special happens in the studio, so everybody knows that it's happened.
Oh, Pam wants us to say she said hello to. Yes, Pam.
Yes, Pam. I'm sorry.
Pam Shramke. She's not a member, but she's with us often enough. You might as well just become a member, Pam. Come on. I'm just saying.
Good job. Yeah, and Pam, I have been responding to your comments on the videos after the fact, so we do see that you're commenting.
Yep.
Okay, you ready for the Facebook post?
Facebook is the source of armchair doctors. That's one way.
Which is fun.
One way of putting
it. If you're not a doctor, it's fun to be an armchair doctor.
So well. First, let's just say, I don't engage in arguments on Facebook. I just don't, because they don't go anywhere. And truly, if I'm going to have a conversation with somebody, I want to have it in person. I feel like just writing back to some random person who's 2 degrees away from me is not going to change their mind. With all the facts I could have in the world, it's not going to happen. So might as well go on YouTube and just do it that way.
So just kidding. There is someone out in the world who has no idea that their Facebook post got copied and is going to be shown on this live show.
Yeah, and debunked. And so there you go.
They don't know because he didn't reply through Facebook. He decided, I'm not going to do it there. I'm going to do it here.
Yeah, let's at least just...
Should I show the Facebook?
Yes, let's start out there and show what I'm even talking about.
So this is the Facebook post. You are seeing it there. You can't tell who it is.
No, not at all.
You can't tell. We're not even going to say. We're not going to say.
Yeah,
it's not going to say. So that's the post that we're referring to. And it does give a source there, the link, and we will get into that
Which
article.
was very helpful.
Yes, that was good that they gave an actual link to a real NIH post of an article that we could follow.
Unfortunately, they thought no one was going to go read it because that is completely false.
Yes. So it says, what? Oh my goodness, hold on, we got to take a break.
Wow, we're already getting...
Whoa.
Robert Antonio. Hey, I think you've done
this before. My goodness, look at that.
What's your comment? You just did a super chat.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate it. I don't see a comment,
As you can see, super chat gets our attention and it breaks into the show. So,
Robert, there's no comment, though.
I have to turn it off.
If you have a comment, Robert, please let us know.
Well, I figure out how to turn it off. Where is it? Oh, it's this thing. Okay.
You just hit it real hard?
I guess. Oh, my goodness. My session has expired. Please log in.
Oh, this is going to go throughout the whole show. What's going to happen?
What? How?
I feel like I'm being chased down. Wait, that never happens to me.
What, being chased down?
By the police?
You go on with the show while I remember how to stop this thing. I don't know.
So they're bringing up flat earthers now. We're comparing anti-vaxxers with flat earthers. Oh, man. I didn't say that. Our supporters did.
Okay, this is really... Robert, look what you did to...
Holding a belief without understanding the science. That is, or the scientific method. That's very well put, the Rodriguez twins. I appreciate that. So why does the newborn need an HBV vaccine? Why not test the mom first? Because it's not going against the mom, actually. We're giving them vaccine to try to completely stamp out hepatitis B. And the way we do that is with vaccinating as many people as we can. Universal vaccination would be ideal, but hepatitis B, we do not have any treatment or cure for. So if we can vaccinate against it and stop it from happening in the first place, that's a better way to treat it. And it's a very effective vaccine. So that's why all kids are getting hepatitis B vaccines. There you go. There's your answer. What did I say that was false? That I'm confused. There you go.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. And I'll be more than happy if Roberto does it again. Was it Robert or Roberto?
Robert
Antonio. Robert Antonio. If he does it again,
I don't
that's
see
fine.
your comment though. We appreciate that, but I don't see any comment from you. So if you have a comment about anything, we
were actually showing the Facebook post that we're talking about.
Yes, which says, what is that? 79.4% of babies who die of SIDS had a vaccine the same day.
Informed mothers.
Oh, the informed mothers, yeah.
So I believe the Facebook page is called The Informed Mother.
Okay. That's the group.
That made this.
The group of...
Or if they didn't make it, they let it go on their site looking as if they made it.
Okay. Well, there you go.
That's where we start there.
Okay, so we'll start there.
79.4% of babies who die.
And you would look at that
SIDS.
and you would say, wow. Vaccines cause SIDS. Looking at that, 80%
of babies who die of SIDS had a vaccine the same day.
4 out of every 5 cases of SIDS had a vaccine. Wow, vaccines are horrible. They cause SIDS.
If that is the truth, that sounds really bad.
That's a very, that's that fear-mongering that we see sometimes.
This statement sounds really bad.
It does, absolutely. If that were true, it would be scary.
So perhaps we should talk about the very article that this person's post is referring to. So the link is in the description of the video if you want to look at the actual article yourself. Well, first of all, the link will take you to the NIH page that has an abstract of it. And there is a link at the just above the top of the abstract, right, where you can click to actually see the full article.
The full article, which is helpful. And again, I'm glad that they put that on here so we could actually look it up. So here is the actual numbers from the article.
Well, first of all, the point of it was to analyze deaths
that were reported
in the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, or VAERS.
VAERS, yeah.
So when they looked at it between the years of, or sometime during the year of 1997 to sometime in the year of 2013.
About 16 years, there were 2,149 death reports. This is a self-reporting system, so these are parents or people who found that or made an association, let's say that, between this death that happened in very near proximity to a vaccine that was given.
They thought it needed to be reported in association with a vaccine that was received.
So 1,469 of these were children. And the number, this 79.4% is for child death reports. 79.4% received greater than one vaccine on the same day. So that is the percentage that they're using. That is the only area, or that only, what am I trying to say? That is the only time we found that percentage within the article. It had
actually, we found it 3 times, but it's talking about the same
all
thing.
associated with the same thing.
Yeah.
And that has, I mean, some of those deaths were SIDS, but this is not saying that 79.4% of SIDS deaths were had a vaccine that day. It's saying that of children who died, 79.4 had received greater than one vaccine on the same day, and even then, there was not really any. It was made in association by the parent, or probably the parent. In this case.
They happened sometime around the same time. So the SIDS things.
Oh, Laura Spurs gave us $5.
Oh my goodness! Why didn't the thing go off?
Oh, I'm so
Did
sorry.
I turn it off?
You turned
it off. Laura, we got to give you a reward. How did that happen?
I think people are just trying to break us up when
we're in. There it is. There's Laura's.
It's coming. It's coming. Help it along.
Okay, Laura, thank you. Thank you, Laura. Did she have a question?
I'm trying to look for your comment.
Okay.
Robert Antonio said, "Yay!" Thanks, Laura. That's your comment. You're appreciative for us. We appreciate that. But Laura Spurs, thank you. We appreciate that.
Okay, Robert and Laura, that's cool. We'll read your comment. Have a comment. If not, we'll still say it's cool. So we got the whole SIDS thing.
Bravo. That was she had an emoji for
That was
us.
Laura's?
Yeah.
Thanks, Laura. So the SIDS thing is just totally not even a part of that statistic. It has nothing to do in the whole article.
Yeah.
That statistic, that 79.4% has nothing to do with SIDS.
Right.
It's nowhere in the same sentence.
And actually, if you bring up our other quote there from the actual article, I think on there is where you actually highlighted where it said 79.4%.
You want to see what I highlighted? Yeah, okay, I'll show.
Is that the 79.4%?
Let's take a look at it.
This is essentially the point of this article.
Let's look at that then.
This is a different one.
Yeah, you don't see 79.4 anywhere.
So yeah, there is one area that said that 79.4% was, I'm trying to remember where it was, but it was not due to SIDS.
SIDS, wasn't a part of that sentence.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Received more than one vaccination in the same day. That wasn't the same day as the death.
Right. When they got the vaccines, they received.
So that was another
one.
part of.
Yes.
Let's see how it was worded. 79.4% of babies who die of SIDS had a vaccine the same day. Well, first of all, it's not babies who died of SIDS, although there were babies who died of SIDS in it.
Yes, they were included.
And it wasn't that they had a vaccine. It's implying same day that they died. No, it's the 79.4% is babies who had more than one vaccine the same day, greater than one in the same day.
Yeah.
So they got more than one vaccine when they got their vaccine.
Right.
Not the same day of the death. It didn't say that. So.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with this?
So what do you do with that? I mean, it's a completely false claim.
So I think that I'll put up that quote again, or the actual data from it. For child death reports, 79.4% received greater than one vaccine on the same day.
Yeah. Somewhere associated or around the
Which I
death
want
that
to talk
happened.
about that for a second.
Not necessarily the same day as the
Because
death.
if you take this by itself, this sentence sounds horrible.
It
For
does.
child death reports, 79.4% received greater than one vaccine on the same day. Now, if I didn't know better, and I looked at that statistic, I would say, oh, that makes it sound like getting more than one vaccine on the same day is a risky thing to do.
Based on that.
That's what that sounds like to me.
If we follow through with the rest of that article, that's not the conclusion they came to.
Because what we're talking about is, first of all, it is normal that when vaccines are given that there's more than one on the same day in children.
Right.
In fact, it's kind of the exception that you
so
wouldn't, right?
in the first year, yeah. So at 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, and then at a year, they're receiving a series of vaccines to try to boost that immune system. And on those, there are multiple vaccines given each time.
Okay. So greater than one on the same day, that's not so much a different statement from received a vaccine. Because,
Right.
yeah, you get them the same day.
Sure. Yeah.
They don't make you come in
most part.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and get a different one each day. They do all this 2 month and 4 month all at the same day. So 79.4% received greater than one vaccine on the same day. For child, now what's concerning to me is child death reports at all. The fact that there's death reports associated with vaccines. I don't like that. That makes me feel uncomfortable.
Like that. Yeah. So the question is that a causal thing versus just they had a vaccine and something happened? So let's first look at the statistics. Children, 1,469 children in 16 years. If you were to break that down, let's just round it up, 100 a year, right? Is that
okay?
How many
got
kids
reported.
got reported? They're, okay, so maybe more than that, but that's those who are reported. 100 a year versus how many kids who receive vaccines?
I don't know.
Probably millions. We're talking millions.
Wow. I guess you're right.
There's what, 300 million people
About
in the United
300 million?
States? Millions of those are kids.
Wow.
So
yeah, I guess so.
So if we're taking these are underage one. So if we were to just, we can't do it, the math could be done, but I don't have it in front of me from statistics. But it's definitely millions.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So let's take the next step.
Let's take
the next step.
Pretty low odds there. But anyways, that's not what the conclusion came to, even if that were true.
Okay. So let's look at some of that very article that they were referring to. The Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System article. And we have this little sentence here. The age-adjusted death rate within 60 days of vaccination was 442.5 deaths per 100,000 person years, which is lower than the U.S. death rate during 2008, reported by the National Center for Human Statistics, of 758.3 per 100,000 population. So it's actually saying...
you're actually less likely to die if you had a vaccine.
That's
within the past 60 days.
That's what they're finding. Let's not stop there. There is another article. There's another article. We'll get to that. There's another article that brings that out. Vaccine safety data link mortality. I'm looking at the conclusions here. If you're following along at home, the conclusions down at the bottom there. VSD mortality rates demonstrate a healthy vaccinee effect, with rates lowest in the days immediately following vaccination. Most apparent in the older age groups. The VSD mortality rate is lower than that in the general U.S. population, and the causes of death are similar. I have a couple things I want to say about that. Yeah. One is the vaccinee, the
person who got a vaccine.
The vaccinee effect. The vaccinee effect is you don't go to the doctor to get a vaccine when you're sick. So it's actually a healthier group of people. We don't give vaccines to
babies with fevers or babies who are sick. Yeah.
That in itself doesn't prove that the vaccines are the reason that people are healthier. It's a bias in the selection of the people who are getting vaccines. So I'm not going to make some kind of a claim that this study shows that they're better because of the vaccines. No, again, we're confusing what the causal effect is, or the cause of the effect is. No, it's that they're healthier going into it. Now, the causes of death not being that much different between people who get vaccines and people who don't. Why is that?
Because
because if vaccines worked, there should be a difference in what they're dying of. And the reason is because vaccines did work. And they have worked and continue to work. That's why we don't have much measles. That's why we...
Right, they're dying of things like
if you're
heart
his age or
disease.
younger, you don't know somebody who has polio. You never have.
Yeah.
Unless
I've
you're
never seen
from
it.
some parts of between Afghanistan, Pakistan, and
Yeah.
is it Nigeria? Like one country in Africa, and then the border between Pakistan.
Yeah.
Those are the only places you can even find polio
Right.
because of the success of vaccination.
Vaccines are kind of a victim of their own success.
Yeah.
They are so successful that we don't even see these horrible diseases that people pop up saying, why do we even need a vaccine against
Ask
that?
your grandparents and great-grandparents about these diseases that vaccines control. They will tell you of a different world that they grew up in where people died of these things.
Right. I don't.
And they knew people who died of these things.
Just going back to the original polio vaccine.
Yeah.
Or smallpox. Let's talk smallpox. That was a universal vaccine. Nobody really got to opt out of that. Right?
Thankfully.
And now it's gone. We haven't seen smallpox in however many years that has been, decades. I don't recall people
Over
having
4 decades.
I don't recall people having anti-vaxxers back then saying, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't have this smallpox thing," because people saw smallpox.
Yeah.
And they knew how deadly it was.
It was, yes. Yes. There were people who were against it. There were.
I'm sure there were.
There were.
But I'm just saying,
People who were fearful of
it
it.
was a different time.
And there were people who were hurt by the vaccine too.
Oh yeah, that happened. The vaccines have come a long way, and there are a lot of regulations in place to make vaccines a lot safer than they were.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. So vaccines, they were at pretty harsh early on.
And there are adverse effects to them now. I don't want to be accused of
No, we can't say yes,
sugarcoating it.
and that's where informed consent comes in.
What we want to do is take into account all of the facts that, there's people who are hurt by them, but it's much, much, much smaller. Now, as far as being able to have, the other argument that comes up with vaccines is mandatory vaccines. There's something about that I'm uncomfortable with. There is a bit of a libertarian in me somewhere.
Sure, me too.
Who is uncomfortable with that. And I hear you. If you say, you can't make me. You're pulling at something inside of me that goes, there's something that feels wrong in America about telling people they have to do something with their body. We're going to keep it to vaccines on this one.
In California,
one hot button topic at a time.
Let's not go into that. But in California currently, there is law. It is law that you need to have your vaccines to get into school.
Yeah.
So there is no exemption, no religious exemption. The only viable exemption is a true medical contraindication, which are few and far between.
Very, very few. Not that they don't exist. But
they do, but it's pretty far out there. There aren't many.
Rare enough that we haven't seen one in our practice.
None of our kids have that, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, fortunately. They've been having some good conversations here.
I bet.
Who was it?
Death threats?
No, those yet.
Okay. Because that has happened to Senator
Pan
in California.
Yeah.
He
was one of the
bill.
ones that introduced the bill for vaccines. I think it was Bianca who was kind of she was laying out the UK schedule. And our schedule's very similar here. So at 2 months, 4 months, and 6 months, they get pretty much all the same vaccines that you pointed out there. And then at a year is when you start a few other ones, varicella, chickenpox, and MMR at age 1. And then, go from there. So for 2, 4, 6, they're getting, a lot of them are now combined. So there is a 5-in-1 here in the States, and then a few other ones, and then rotavirus as well. So there are a few pokes that kids are getting, but these have been studied very extensively, and it is okay to give kids that many vaccinations at once.
I understand people who don't have any other reference hearing about how many injections and how many vaccines at once.
Sure.
And you go, maybe there could be something bad to that. Yeah, that's what you would naturally think. And so we have studies to look into it and find that there are some adverse effects, but it's much less than it was in the past. And the number is so small compared to the risk of not having this done in a general level, like all of us. Because if somebody doesn't get vaccinated and says, I'm okay because everybody else is getting vaccinated, you get enough people doing that and you lose the herd immunity. And all of a sudden,
Right.
when the next time measles comes
And
back
then
to
measles has an
California
outbreak.
from France or
Yep.
Disneyland or Reno, as
Right.
it has in recent years, it's not going to stop when it just gets passed to a few people. It's going to keep going. So we're wanting to keep that number down by keeping people vaccinated so we can eventually get rid of this like we did with smallpox and hopefully soon polio. Hopefully soon. I mean, they're working on it hard. If any of you have seen that or have access to Netflix, Understanding, what's the name of it? There's one on Bill Gates, and I think it's Understanding the Mind of Bill Gates, and it talks about
don't know that one.
this effort to wipe out polio and what it's taken to do it and why it hadn't happened already and
Right.
some things they've corrected and then another war starts.
Yeah, get something like that.
Yeah.
Real quick, some people were asking about the chicken pox and how you have a vaccine for shingles. Yes, there is a vaccine for shingles. And there's a newer vaccine. So there was an old one, which was about 50% effective. There's a newer one,
Well,
which is
if you're really old, it was 50%.
Yeah. There's a newer one which is about 90% effective. So it's much
Yeah.
better. It's a 2-shot series to make sure you get both shots.
Yeah.
Indicated down to age 50, but most people at age 60. So there you go.
Okay.
There's my shingles vaccine.
We actually got
update.
through. I'm going to put up.
What do we need to put up?
That looks funny, doesn't it? Are we?
Uh-oh.
I hope that's not what,
happened?
they're seeing. That was quite a face, wasn't it? So I'm going to put up the Facebook post one more time.
So there
we
it
can
is.
Just kind of see where we're coming from here with the informed mothers, which I encourage them to be a little more careful about
Maybe
the
a little
memes
more
that they
informed.
make. I also encourage the people who pass along these memes, including ones we know and are fans of on Facebook.
Do your research.
Maybe not be so quick to pass along that
Yeah,
meme.
I would at least. I mean, the funny thing was this person passed it on and gave the article, but apparently didn't read the article because
Yeah.
they would have come to a different conclusion than what is on that meme. So if you're going to pass something on, please be 100% sure about it. And
Yeah.
if you come across something, you can always ask your doctor.
And
I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm just saying
something I'm noticing
I'm
though is
happy to
what
answer
did
any
it take for
questions.
us to tease out the truth on this?
It did take
It was not
quite a bit.
straightforward at all.
You're
We-
right.
we
yeah,
kept
and most
trying.
people don't have that time when you're just
Yeah.
perusing through Facebook. We read the full article. We
kept
had to
trying
read it a few times and cut in some areas to just see how they got this out of that. We had to find some statistics on our own
Yeah.
on a couple other articles to figure
Yeah.
out that there is no causation there. And actually, the whole point of this article was to show that there was no causation. There is no correlated or causative link between vaccines and any of those deaths.
Yeah.
That was their final conclusion. So the article that you're using to try to show that SIDS is linked to vaccines actually showed that the opposite. It's
It did.
not.
And SIDS was mentioned and it gave the numbers on it, so it just wasn't the number they gave.
Yeah.
Again, there's like 3 different things that went into that sentence that were unrelated, and that's why we kept trying to come up. Well, how do we find out what the real truth is? Because the article isn't saying what they're saying, and we went around a couple times with what we thought it was saying.
Yeah.
Because you'd read the article and you think, oh, one thing, and then you go back and read the sentence in the meme and realize, oh wait, no, they were saying something else. So.
Yep.
Thank you all for participating in the chat. Thank you, those
Do
of you who are
appreciate that.
members of the channel, the super chats with
Yeah,
both Laura
that was fun.
and Robert. We thank you for doing that. Who do you also like to thank?
Oh, I do have a different. We didn't write about this on my blog, but I do have a blog out today. But I appreciate the patrons who help support that, Boo Boo Kitty and Teresa Rowat.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And also thank you to Lindsay Ann Twain. Thanks for making this possible. And until next time,
Dr. Gawain Bond.
and Dr. Mark Vaughn telling you to have a good day and stay in good health. Yes, I know my
I
tagline.
was like, wait, you know your own tagline, don't you? And we're out.
Thanks for joining us.